What's happening, everybody? Al here. Recently I did that video about what it's like to get this car running on the E-85 between downloading the tunes and putting them in the N-gauge and draining the tank down to zero and all of that other stuff. I've been driving the car around all week on the E-85 race tune, and I gotta tell you, it's like a different car. I got this smile plastered on my face. I just can't seem to get rid of it. It's really awesome. But when I bought the E-85 race tune, I also bought the E-85 flex tune from Lund Racing. There's a lot of reasons why I did that, and I want to talk to you guys about that. And there's also, you know, some things about the E-85 flex tune. It's got some interesting properties to it, and I want to go over that with you guys. So let's do it.
All right, guys. So I'm in the car here, just parked in the garage, and today what we're going to do is we're going to test out this this flex tune. What we need to do is first load the tune in. I've got I don't know, a little bit more than a quarter of a tank of gas in the car now, a full E-85 fuel. This is, you know, fuel that's in the tank since I drained the tank down to zero and filled it up. So there's really no mix. It's basically 100% of the E-85 that came from the pump. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load the E-85 flex tune into the car and then run it down to below a quarter of a tank. From what I understand, that's absolutely necessary to run the E-85 flex tune and have it adjust. You can't, you know, this was something that I actually had wrong when I first bought the E-85 flex tune. I thought that, you know, if you're running low or whatever, you know, 3/4 of a tank, half a tank, you could just pull into a gas station, fill up with 93 octane gas, and it'll adjust and you just drive away. That's not actually how it works. In order to get the E-85 flex tune to recalibrate itself, or to kick in to recalibrate or relearn mode, it's got to be below a quarter of a tank. So what I'm going to do now, since I've been told by my tuner that if I'm running on 100% E-85, I can run the flex tune on that tank of gas. But then once I'm below a quarter of a tank, I can then mix in some 93 octane fuel. And at that point, that's when you start the car, and the car will start the relearn process. So I'm going to run through that right now. All right, and now I'm going to load up the E-85 flex tune, so check this out. All right, so there you can see, currently I'm running on the E-85 race tune, and I'm going to switch over to the flex tune, right? So there you can see it. So that's it. That's the tune that we're going to load in. So we're going to load that in right now. All right, so we're out driving the car around. I got the E-85 flex tune in the car. And, you know, this thing is just awesome. Even on the flex tune, I can't tell hardly the difference between this and the race tune. It's amazing. I am told that, you know, this flex tune is not as aggressive as the E-85 flex, excuse me, the E-85 race tune. But, you know, seat of the pants, I could hardly tell the difference. That's pretty awesome. This is what I mean. This tune's got some very interesting properties to it. I've had this tune in the car before. You know, John Lund Jr. told me that once I get E-85, you know, a full tank of E-85 gas into the car, that he needed a data log of both the race tune and the flex tune. So I've had this tune in the car before, and you know, I kind of know what it's like, and I'm impressed with it, is really what it comes down to. This tune, because it's flexible, and you're able to, you know, if you get yourself in a bind, to say you venture too far from home, like in my case, here in Fort Myers, we've only got one gas station that has the E-85. Now, I usually don't venture too far from home, so on the most part, that's not really a problem. But if I should go out of town and I don't know where I'm going to get my E-85, if I need to, all I got to really do is pull into a gas station and fill it up with 93. The only thing that I really need to be sure of when I do that is that my fuel gauge is down below a quarter of a tank. That's really the only thing. When I first bought the tune, I didn't know that. I just, you know, bought the tune on the assumption that I could just top off with 93 at any time, whether I'm at, you know, 3/4 of a tank, half a tank, and so on. Not the case, but still not a big deal, because it offers me that flexibility. I call it my safety net tune. And this way, if I ever run into a bind, I'm covered. So in my N-gauge over here, I've got my E-85 race tune, my E-85 flex tune, and my stock tune. So no matter what the circumstances are, no matter where I go or anything that happens, I've got a tune for just about every circumstance. So it just gives me that feeling that I've got the safety net, I'm covered, and I'm not going to have any problems. And I got to tell you, you know, since I've been running this car in the E-85, I think of all of these crazy reasons just to take the car out, you know, making unnecessary trips to Home Depot. You know, I'm running out to DQ just to buy blizzards and shit. You know, it's really great. I'm really loving life on this one. It's awesome. All right, here it is. At this point, you can see the gas gauge is showing below a quarter of a tank. This is very important to switch fuels with the E-85 Flex Tune from Lund Racing. It's got to be below a quarter of a tank. Once I add the different fuel, in this case I'm going to add some 93 octane fuel, I'll start the car, and the learning process will kick in, and the computer will adjust for the different ethanol content. All right, so I'm throwing a little 93 octane gas. There you can see I only put in just a little bit more than 2 gallons into the tank. That should be enough, you know, being below a quarter of a tank, just to, you know, get the learn process started. You know, it's always good to have a little bit of this E-85 on hand. You know, while I'm at the station, I can't resist the opportunity to just grab 5 gallons of E-85, keep it at the house. You know, it's just a lot of times it's a little easier to throw a little bit of this into the tank and not have to go to the station all the time. I got to tell you, man, I've been driving this car around all week on this fuel, and it's just changed the car. I can't explain it, but you know, if anybody's thinking about switching to E-85, I got to tell you, you can't go wrong. It's absolutely awesome. All right, so now you can see the gas gauge is now showing above quarter of a tank. That 2.5 gallons of roughly of 93 octane fuel has you know, is showing on the fuel gauge. So now I'm going to start the car, and I'm told that it's at this point that the learn process starts. So let's do this. All right, well, nothing unusual happened, but that could just be that there's E-85 in the lines. I'm told at this point that you have to let this thing run for a little while and let it adjust to the new ethanol content. All right, I'm just going to drive away from the pump and park over there in those parking spaces and let this thing run for a little bit. All right, this thing's been running for about 10 minutes, and there's been no stumbling, no roughness, no nothing. It's been running smooth from the beginning. I don't know, it seems pretty cool to me. Let's take it for a drive. All right, so I got about a 50-50 mix between E-85 and 93 octane gas in the car right now. And it's actually still pretty stout. I gotta tell you, I'm impressed. You know, the learning process was really nothing. I put the mix in and started the car up. It didn't stumble. It didn't, you know, it didn't kind of sputter at all. It just kind of idled down, and I let it idle there for a little while, like my tuner told me supposed to do. And I'm just driving it around now on a mixture. And this thing is still, listen, downshift like that. This thing is nasty. I'm impressed. I can't believe how good this is. It's awesome. Well, we now have a severe case of wheel hop. Check this out. All right, you see that? This is how this is. I've got 1/8 of a tank of gas, right? I've only got 25 miles to go. And there isn't an E-85 station around here, so I could very easily just pull into that one right there. They don't have E-85, but I could top it off with 93 because the Flex Tune would definitely adjust for it. That's the whole point. That's the whole reason why we have this. You know, it's my safety net. It allows me the flexibility to do whatever I want. If I wanted to take the risk and run it down to 0 and, you know, just happen to be near a gas station, I can then, you know, put 93 in it and put the stock tune in if I wanted to. But the Flex Tune offers me that flexibility, and I like having it right there in my N gauge, all at my fingertips. So here we're at the gas station. I'm below 1/8 of a tank. This is the station that has the E-85, so we're going to fill it up and let the flex tune do its job.
All right, so we're back here. All right, we got the 85 pumps, and all I'm going to do is fill up the tank now with the E-85. You know, it's a little bit of an exercise, but the truth is, what's going on here? It's a little bit of an exercise, but the truth is, this car runs so good on the E-85 that, you know, if you can find a way to make it work for you, it's worth a try. I've been messing with this car now for the past couple of weeks, you know, driving it around, and you know, it's got a lot more power. I wouldn't speculate as to say how much more, but if you guys have seen my other videos, there was a time where I met with Alex and Donnie over at Pep Boys, and we put the car on the dyno. My car didn't dyno so good that day. I only got like 389 horsepower to the rear wheels, which is a little light for this car. These cars generally with the automatic will put down 400 or maybe a little bit more. So I don't know really, you know, I don't know what the reason for that is. Some people are saying the 20-inch wheels got something to do with it because they're heavy. Some people are saying that possibly my car wasn't broken in, you know, because I don't remember, I had like 1,000 miles on it at the time. But it's also possible, and that this is, you know, what I suspect is that the gas around here is not very sweet. So you put the E-85 in it with the race tune or even the flex tune, and it really feels like it picks up. And I can say in my case it really does. I'm going to try to get this on the dyno to see what it's actually doing. But until then, you know, I'm just going to drive around and have a lot of fun with it. So it's all good. So that's about it for today, guys. Until next time. We'll catch you later.
The car made 389 in 5th gear, 386 in 6th gear. In 5th gear for torque it made 370. In 6th gear for torque it made 393. 7th is 1-to-1 and the car has 355s. So it's robbing a little power, but it's making tuned, you know, 15 and up months, that Mustang number, so yeah. The car should be well into the 11s, no problem. Yeah. Really in line with what we're seeing out there for sure.
Well, one of these days I'm going to drop it off with you guys. You could pop a supercharger on it for me.
We'll pop it in there.
All right, man. Looking forward to that.
Sounds good, man.
All right, Alex, Donnie, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
All right, have a great day.